I'm Jennifer Nemec, the founder of Ideation Studio. We're a multidisciplinary design firm. We focus on building brand environments. So that includes restaurants, retail, corporate, anything where you want to create an immersive, experiential environment. So taking architecture and merging it with graphic design and product design to create something that's really holistic and involves everything you see, feel, and touch in that environment, and really communicates the essence of the brand and the culture of that brand and how people want to interact with it. The challenges we face today all kind of are in one framework. It's all about money. So it's the rising costs of doing business, the rising costs of salary, and then the lack of education on the client side of what it costs and the time that's involved to actually design something and create a solution. So I tell a story. When I was a young designer, you made about $25,000 a year 30 years ago. And the design firm made about $250,000 for that design work. So today, the same thing, the same project, you'd get $50,000 to do, and the same designer wants $50,000. So it's just created this weird context of what it costs to do the work. And unfortunately, we don't have a solution button on our keyboard. So we actually do have to spend the time creating different iterations and finding the right solution that works for that client and works for that brand. And so it does take a great deal of time to really craft something that's very strategic and precise to execute something that's going to be dynamic. Some of the best business advice I've received was while participating in Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. I had they were very much about having people guide you, and I had been sort of in my own little box, just designing away and running a business, and it was really nice to get outside influences and outside consultants to help me do the things I wasn't great at, and to really understand I don't have to be good at everything. I can actually parse out some things and hire out expertise in the right area and make the business stronger. Our differentiation from our competitors is really a little bit about our agility. We're a small team that works very cohesively together in all the different disciplines. And so I think because of our size, we're very nimble and can move quickly. And because we're very team-based, we can be all hands on deck to really execute things that, on a tighter timeline if needed. I think that our discipline, our multidisciplinary approach is also a differentiator, really bringing communication to architecture and creating that personality in architecture. We get a lot of drawings from other firms that they ask us to help with. And they'll create a vanilla box and they'll put a corporation in it, and we'll have to go back in and really create the personality in that architecture, because you don't want to create a corporate environment where you can move one corporation out and move another corporation in and it still works. It shouldn't. It should really tell your story and be prevalent in the architectural experience.
Hi, I'm Nancy Sullivan. I'm with Illinois Ventures. We're the venture capital arm of the University of Illinois. We invest throughout the Midwest and beyond in our alumni and the startups coming out of our faculty and students. And I'm the CEO and managing director of the organization. All roles have challenges. And for me, my current role has had an incredible challenge when I came in. Venture capital is really about people. And when investments are made, whether it be investing in the fund that you're going to be deploying or in the companies that you deploy the capital in, it's about relationships. And I came in with an active fund that I hadn't been directly involved in when it started, and needed to really find my way to both those who invested in the fund and those companies we've invested in. So I had a chance to get to meet, spend time with our limited partners as well as our investments. And overall, we were able to move forward and really do well. But it took some time because it's a relationship part, and I hadn't had those relationships to start with. But we built them. We are flourishing and doing well now. And the challenges that you face, if there's honestly one lesson I've learned, people respect honesty. And if you're honest, and you're forthright, you immediately can create a connection where together you can figure out the challenge. And I have spent a lot of time in my career grappling with tough issues and have always been the one who wants to pick up the phone and have the conversation with the other side, because I know that if you're honest and you're level-headed, you can typically find a way. When you start inserting third parties and not having that honest conversation one-on-one, the complexities can sometimes spin out of control. So it's funny when I think about leadership and the best advice that I've received. It happened as I was quitting my full-time career and going back to school and moving completely out of business into science. And I showed up, the woman who ran the program very kindly said to me, well, I think you need to take a year taking science. If you want a master's in science from our organization, you have some things you need to work on. And she looked at me and said, but tenacity and hard work pay off. And if you do that, you'll find out things work out. I went back a year later. I hadn't stayed in touch. I didn't learn the value of networking. And I showed her the list she gave me that I had done everything. So I did the tenacity and hard work. And she said, next time in your career, make sure you build the relationships and keep them going. She let me in, and it set a career for where I am today. So our culture at Illinois Ventures is incredibly innovative. Our entire organization is based around taking world-changing ideas, whether it be in life sciences, in engineering, in healthcare, and bringing them to the market. So our entire culture is around innovation. We spend our time focused on innovation. We ensure that we're at the cutting edge of what we're doing, and we work as a team very closely to challenge one another and ensure as we make our investment decisions that we're not becoming complacent. We're making sure that the investments we're making are cutting edge in the innovation space, whether it be in the various sectors we discuss. We are sector agnostic as long as it's in the high-tech space.